I'm starting to feel this way towards anyone who tells me that they feel similarly to me, especially regarding like my autism diagnosis story and about my childhood and my teenage years and like how I felt during that time. There's one thing that I want to say to you. The biggest thing that helped my mental health through everything was not any diagnosis. It wasn't even really like any therapy. The thing that changed my mental health forever, I mean, it's a lot of steps, but one main thing in particular was I gave up on my parents. I gave up on trying to change them. I gave up on trying to convince them of anything. I gave up on trying to figure them out and trying to be like, why did they treat me this way? Why wouldn't they just treat me better? What changed was when I accepted them for who they are and then decided to focus inward, less about like what are they thinking and feeling, because that was my life, that was my childhood, that's how I survived, that was my inner monologue, just caring about them. Once I just accepted them and went, okay, I'm a different person, I'm an adult now, I get to separate from them, I now get to take care of myself, I got the big kid muscles that I can beat somebody up if need be, unlike when I was a child. Do I want to carry these things that they are giving to me? When I am in distress and my inner monologue says, like, you're overreacting, you're being dramatic, no one's gonna like you if you're like this, you gotta go and cry by yourself, you're so annoying. That's my parents. That's what they said to me. I'm holding on to that. Why? That makes me feel like shit, and it might have helped me survive when I was a child, when I was around my parents. But the same things that helped me survive in childhood are hindering me now. So the first step to be better for me and anyone who relates to me, a lot of people are like, I want to ask about an autism diagnosis. My first question is, I want to ask about your relationship with your parents. Because a lot of times, like, what do you want an autism diagnosis for? If it's to be able to get accommodations at work, mint. A lot of people just want to know. A lot of people just honestly question if you are one of these people who just wants proof, who wants a third party to go, I'm not crazy. See, I'm not crazy. I'll tell you that when I was 15 and I finally got that shield of you can no longer gaslight me away from my experience. I know my experience matters. I know that I deserve love and care when I'm not having a good time. My parents did not change. Nothing changed. If anything, they got worse because they were like, you're autistic. That's our excuse now as to why we treat you like shit. I went from being a very anxious child to when I moved away from my parents, I became like a dark, depressed pit of nothing because I was so used to only caring about what my parents thought and felt. I was not developed at all. I was a little kid inside this adult body, and I felt like nothing mattered because it didn't matter to me because I didn't have values yet. I didn't have thoughts and feelings and opinions that guided me anywhere. So yeah, I felt like doing laundry was useless, and a therapist would go, yeah, but then your clothes are going to get moldy on them. I'm like, I know, like, isn't that just worse? Like, isn't everything just bad and sucks that I have to do these things to survive? And it wasn't until I did a complete reprogramming of my brain and I reparented my younger self, I could have and find value in things and find joy in things. And I'm an incredibly happy person now, something that I never imagined I'd get in a million years. And I'm 25. I cannot believe, like, hopefully I live a very, very long time and I get to be a happy person for a really long time, because it's wild to me. And it would have never happened if I didn't notice how I was being a child every time I talked to my parents, because that child wants to be protected. That child wants to know, like, why did you treat me like this? And it was the accepting that when I put my hand in this bag of snakes, every single time I get bit by a snake, No matter if the snake is like, I'm not gonna bite you, I swear, like, just put your hand in. Every time I get bit by a snake, I have to take responsibility for putting my hand in the fucking snake bag. I have to take my responsibility for believing a snake is not gonna be a snake. I have to accept actions, and someone goes, I love you, I love you, I love you, and then they bite you. That's not love. Doesn't matter what you say, a snake is a snake. And at some point, when you become an adult, when I became an adult, I learned that I have that choice, and no one else has that responsibility other than me to stop putting my hand in the bag. It sucks that my parents are a bag of snakes. It sucks. And we can grieve that. And that's all that you can do is grieve it and be sad about it. But you can't change anybody. You can't. And it's kind of manipulative to do that, to try to. Not like manipulation is bad, but it's not your choice to change people. It's your choice to change you. It's your choice to change your actions. It's your choice to be around people who make you feel good. If you're around someone and you do not feel good, the goal isn't to change that person to make you feel good. The goal is to go somewhere else that makes you feel good. And I didn't know where to go, because I never had somewhere to go to make me feel good. I'd never felt good before. So it was wildly lonely and uncomfortable to go, I'm not going to get an abusive boyfriend. I'm going to be alone for a bit so I can find out who the heck I am, what I like, where can I tether to that doesn't feel like acid in my heart? Where can I lean on that makes me take a deep breath, that lets me relax my shoulders? Like, although my book is subtitled How an Autism Diagnosis Saved My Life, I did attempt suicide many times between my autism diagnosis and now, which has been 10 years. It didn't save my life. It gave me motivation to believe that my life is more than what my parents made it out to be, what my parents were destined to make it for me. It gave me motivation that I matter, that there's more than this, that I deserve more than this, that I deserve help, that I deserve people who see me, that I deserve people who love me. And you will not feel better with an autism diagnosis, but still being treated like shit from your parents. You won't. For as long as you are treated like shit from your parents, you will be uncomfortable. And eventually, at some point, I hope that you start being angry about it. Takes a bit. At first, you feel like everything's your fault, especially when you're a kid. Kids are made to feel like everything's their fault and they have to fix it. But once you accept that, oh, they're nuts, they're in their own reality, they're a cartoon villain, I'm a person who has thoughts and feelings that are real and valid and matter and cannot be convinced otherwise, you stop trying to convince them to be different. You stop trying to convince them for yourself. You stop trying to convince yourself that you deserved better. You already did. You already did deserve better, and so just do better. Just be better. Go somewhere where love is love. You can get diagnosed with anything. Confirmation that you've got something going on doesn't change anything. Doesn't help you. Oh, we learned you have anxiety visibly. Now you have it as a label. Great. What now? Nothing changed. Nothing changed. What we got to do is figure out what behaviors are we seeing from you, and what do you want? Who do you want to be in this life? You get to decide. You get to choose. Save the thousands of dollars that it would take for a diagnosis and put those thousands of dollars towards first and last month's rent somewhere else away from your parents. I know that many people are like, I cannot afford it. That's what it is. Just know that your life will continue to be what it is until you decide to make the changes to do something else. If you live in a bag of snakes, and if you keep returning to this bag on the regular, you are going to continue to have venom coursing through your veins. There is no amount of drugs or alcohol or therapy or medication or a diagnosis that can protect you. Maybe it'll numb you out, but you're still getting bit by venomous snakes, and you will continue to feel venom in your veins for as long as you keep going inside the fucking snake bag. Throw the snake bag away.